Welcome in, everybody, to race number 2 of the MMS Money Racing Little Dog Big Dog series, and we have an enormous field here tonight. And before we get into that, Josh Giambrone is once again joining me in the booth. He is also the race control. Running a little bit tight on time here, so we're going to go ahead and go through the grid for everybody real quick. Matt Lee for NBG is going to be starting on the pole tonight, followed by Kyler Wynn. Brian Hennings in 3rd, Matthew Baker in 4th, Dylan Jones 5th, Garrett Maines in 6th, Logan York 7th, Freddie Baznez 8th, David Sheets in 9th, and Chris Melton in 10th. Nathan Harper will be starting this race from the 11th position here tonight. Vicente Guerrero in 12th for Nightmare Esports. 13th will be J.R. Miller for Team PGR, Richard Elliott 14th, Jeff Merck 15th, Sean Corbett 16th, Hunter Hastings 17th, Heath Job in 18th, Dalton Steele 19th, and Jason Maines in 20th. Chase Mistretta for Nightmare will start in 21st, Mark Vondell for McCullough in 22nd, James Wagner for R&R in 23rd, and Michael Wingo in 24th. 25th will be Mike Davenport, James Waring in 26th, Nathan Rostasil 27th, Scott McLean 28th, Asher Little 29th, Steve Sizemore in 30th, Joey Galati 31st, Jeremy Osborne for Blind Squirrel in 32nd, Ron Hunter 33rd, Daniel Falkingham in 34th, Josh McCullough 35th, Josh Giambrone is the race control as mentioned. Christopher McCullough will be starting 37th, Rick Schneider 38th, Kenneth McCullough in 39th, and Jimmy Emos rounds out the field here tonight. We'll go ahead and go through your race info very quickly for you. We are at Daytona tonight. A little bit different from last week. We were at Talladega and Xfinity Cars. This week we got the trucks here at Daytona. It's going to be a 75-lap race, 50% in the fuel tanks, unlimited tires, 1 faster pair, fixed setups, and 3 attempts at an overtime. So like I said, Josh Giambrone, tonight's race control, is once again joining me in the booth. Josh, what are your thoughts before we start this one?
You know, just like I said last week, hopefully we can keep together, maybe see some 4 wide. We are at a smaller track here, so I doubt it. But you never know. We could see some 4 wide for at least a couple laps. They've been racing hard. They raced real hard last week. And, you know, it's going to be a good race either way.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good one. A little bit of a long one, too. 75 laps. This is one of the series that we have that have kind of longer runs to them, or longer races, I should say. And even, longer runs, too. But, I mean, we have a massive field tonight. This is not at all what I expected. Like 40 cars out here for 75 laps here at Daytona. It's got the potential to be a little bit of a wreck fest, but that's obviously never our hope. We want Josh Giambrone's job to be easy in the race control booth and not difficult by any means, but we're going to soon find out how this one goes. Matthew Lee and Kyler Wynn will be leading them to the green flag for this 75-lapper here at Daytona. Lots of kind of big dogs in this race, forgive the pun. I mean, we got Kyler Wynn, Matt Lee, Matthew Baker, Garrett Maines, Daniel Falkingham's back from a little bit of a break. It's going to be an interesting one for sure, and then can't leave out the new additions to Nightmare Esports. Chief among which in this race is Freddie Baznez. Josh Giambrone is one of them as well, so we'll see what Freddie is going to do. Him and Chase and Vicente are going to have to work something up and try and move their way forward through this field. But here comes the field into the green flag this time by. The green is out, and we are racing here at Daytona. Coming to complete lap 1 here, it's going to be Kyler Wynn with a little bit of an edge over Matt Lee on the bottom with a push from Matthew Baker on the outside. Kind of early thoughts right here. Looks like the outside's getting a good bit of momentum, maybe kind of tuning in more to the outside line's advantages with the track temp and everything of that nature. But right now, there's that push from the bottom of Matthew Lee getting pushed by Brian Hennings out of 2. Jeff Merck down there under the apron, under the yellow line. Maybe a little bit of a stack up right there. But he's going to move up to the top lane in that number 60. Up front, it's just 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 all throughout the whole field right now. And they're just kind of riding around right now. Honestly, you know, they have about 74 laps to go in this race, except Jason Maines looks like he's trying to peek it up 3 wide, but he's going to think better of it and hop back in. Completing lap 2 is just still a drag race between Kyler Wynn and Matthew Lee. Just everyone kind of sitting around right now, you know. Like I said, long race, they know they don't want to get wrecked early, but there is a fast repair, and sometimes that could lend, you know, who knows. You know, if you have a little bit, you have that fast repair that kind of gives you a little bit of incentive to race harder earlier and maybe a little bit more aggressive because you have that to back up and lean on. But sometimes, you know, it can be a long race and you want to conserve that for as long as possible. But Richard Elliott, Jeff Mert, Jason Maines, looks like they want to go up there, they want to race, and they're doing it. Richard Elliott's leading that third line. Chase Mastretta went bottom to top right there with Mike Davenport behind him in that 55 car. But still just not a lot going on. Vicente Guerrero wants down. You see that, making an aggressive move down to the bottom of the number 14. With that 3 wide action starting in the back. Still Richard Elliott, the leader of that line right now. It's not really working out for him yet. They're still just kind of hanging out where they are. Logan York down there in the number 31 machine. It's going to be a little bit hard to see him. It looks like he's in that just blue stripe with the white basic looking truck right there of Logan York in the middle. What a funny phrase to have on his truck right there. But yeah, Logan York's another guy to watch out for in this race. Kyler Wynn, we see up top, is going to hop back up in front of Matthew Baker, controlling the lines right now, as he should be doing as the leader. And we see 3 wides kind of died out, kind of just leaving Richard Elliott up there. But now Jason Maines hops back behind him. Further back, looks like Chris McCullough might be trying to make a move as well. Chase Mastretta thinking about it. Yeah, there's Chris and Kenny McCullough right there, the 23 and the 03, trying to make their way up to Jason Maines and hopefully advance that third line out of 2 here, Josh.
Yeah, there goes 55. They're starting to build some momentum on there. That outside line is going to cook a little bit.
Oh.
They're going to start moving. Oh,
yeah, that was close.
Clearing over Kenny's nose there. But if they get some momentum, they can get it. Don't know how they're looking up front on temps, but I'm guessing they're going to start cooking very soon. There goes Daniel Falkingham out, apparently. Don't know if he turned a lap or not.
Got Daniel Falkingham out of tonight's race, so that's one of the big heavy hitters apparently out of the race already. We'll see if he tries to come back. That third lane is kind of making an advance. Look at Freddie Basnez, that number 8 Nightmare truck. He's going to get up there, try and be the leader of that line. He's going to trust Richard Elliott to push him. There goes Garrett Maines and Matthew Baker, leaving Kyler Wynn all alone in the middle.
Ooh.
That third line really got a development right there. Ooh, Chris Melton kind of dooring up into the third lane. Matthew Baker's going to get clear with the push from Garrett. We'll see what Freddie can do with Garrett to try and get Garrett clear as well. Right now, Richard Elliott in the back kind of laying off of Freddie's bumper, and I know that's not what Freddie wants. He wants Richard right up there on his bumper because that's going to help them, with their momentum, help them move more forward. And right now, it's just not really happening. Not a whole lot of tight organization on the outside of the 1 and the 8 machines right there. Then Baker's going to get that edge. Oh, he's going to get turned in the middle. Oh, by Kyler Wynn. And we have the massive one out of turn 2. Oh, my goodness. This is the entire field.
That is the entire field.
Oh, Vicente Guerrero is killed. Mark Vondell, Jimmy Emos, Logan York involved, Jeff Merck. Looks like Michael Wingo might be involved as well, Heath Job. And obviously Matthew Baker, who was the first one to get turned right there by Kyler Wynn, coming out of turn 2. Let's go ahead and take a look at what just went wrong here, because that was a massive accident this early on lap 7. Lots of guys going to be using up those fast repairs already. So we'll take this in slow-mo. Kyler Wynn is offset left of Matthew Baker. Is going to shove him up the racetrack and end up hooking him right there. Just by what that looks like at a glance, a little bit of netcode potentially between the 5 and the 82. And then from here on out, it's just the entire field. This happened at the very front. I mean, everyone except Garrett Maines and Kyler Wynn, like even Freddie Basnez right there, cleared it in a way, but he got pinned into the wall. There's Nathan Harper on the bottom trying to miss it. This is just, look at that. Jeff Merck, Mark Vondell, everyone just flying into this parking lot out of turn 2. Mike Davenport involved, Dalton Steele. see Logan York spinning to the inside. Vicente Guerrero, no control of his truck. Richard Elliott, Chris Melton, Dylan Jones, Chase Mastretta. I mean, it's going to be easier to list off the names that weren't involved in this crash because this was almost the entire field taken out right here. What are your thoughts on what just happened between Baker and Wynn right there, Josh?
You know, it looks like he got shoved up the track just a little bit, but he didn't. He just turned him. And eventually, like he didn't check up. He didn't do nothing. He just hooked him. There's not much you can do in that situation, but since it's under the 20-lap rule here, he's going to have to get an EOL there. Or actually, he's going to get a drive-through, sorry.
Yeah, so an early bit of adversity for, Kyler Wynn right there. Going to have to serve a drive-through penalty for being the cause of this accident within that 20-lap window that just wiped out everybody. Just look at this crash right here out of the turn 2 camera. It's just everybody. Everybody. There's no other way of saying it. That was just a shocking crash where you see the entire field, apart from 2 cars, get involved in an accident. We're going to see if we can take this to a quick onboard view. Let's see it from... see what we can find right here. Let's get a look at Logan York, potentially. Let's see what he saw, as he was kind of right in the hornet's nest of this accident, sitting there in the middle. He got away relatively okay, it looks like. So I'm confusing these cars around. This is evidently not Logan York. Different paint scheme for him. See, there's
like
Jeremy
Logan
Osborne.
is in that Bobble League car, just like Nathan Harper.
Yeah, they are in identical paint schemes, and that's not easy for us to kind of pinpoint and pick out on the broadcast. So we can get just a couple more looks at this. There's Jeremy Osborne, as we mentioned. Let's just go a little further back. This is Rick Schneider. Let's see what... take a look at what Chase Mastretta saw. Sitting here in the middle. Wreck starts in front. He's on the brakes, clips Jeff Merck. There's a car under him. That's Sean Corbett. He just gets piled into by everybody else. There goes Vicente Guerrero spinning down the track, and it's just carnage early on in this one. We'll take it back live and see who's just kind of alive right now. You see, I mean, everyone's still going to be alive for the most part. I'm not sure if anybody had to really tow right here, and that could be detrimental for them. We see there's Matthew Baker, who was the first guy to spin out right there. Obviously, he's taking his fast repair, I would imagine. But up front, we've got Garrett Maines and David Sheets, followed by Nathan Harper, J.R. Miller, Asher Little, James Waring, Ron Hunter, Steve Sizemore, Logan York, and Sean Corbett is the top 10 of this race after that enormous accident early on lap 7. A few more guys looks like topping off. There's Kenny McCullough, Chris McCullough coming out. There's Matt Lee, Vicente Guerrero coming around to get back going. He had to take his fast repair. As you can see, he's all fixed up. Heath Job still has a little bit of damage. Dylan Jones as well. Chris Melton with a killed truck. That left rear kind of quarter panel just extended out. You can see it right there, almost looking like a car. For Chris Melton, there's Kyler Wynn. Jason Maines with some damage. Yeah, I mean, this was massive. And it's definitely not what I expected this early on in the race. But we're going to be restarting on lap 11 with Maines and Sheets going to be the leaders of the race. And everyone else still trying to catch back up to the field after having to fix their damage, take their fast repairs, get fueled up. Yeah, this is kind of an interesting... This definitely changes the dynamic of the race, because now a lot of these guys don't have their fast repairs to rely on, and there's still 65 laps to go in this one. So we'll see how everyone wants to race from here on out. But the pace car is off. Garrett Maines is going to roll into the box, go very late, wait for the green flag, hook up with Nathan Harper right there. David Sheets on the top. getting a pretty decent restart. It's not going to allow Garrett to clear just yet, but Garrett might have that look going into 1. Steve Sizemore hopped to the bottom in that number 8 machine. See Asher Little in the 13 making a good move. Sitting in a very good spot right now. He's going to be the lead pusher to Nathan Harper down there in that 35. And then big stack up in the back. Looks like originating with Logan York right here. Kind of some separation in the top 10. 10 cars have pulled away from this rest of the pack. But, I mean, they're obviously going to catch back up. Look at Heath Job. What a move to the bottom under Mike Davenport for Heath Job in this damaged race truck. But he should be all right. You would think. Oh, Mike Davenport's going to get turned right there, and that's going to be another big one.
There's another huge one.
All the way back here. There's Kyler Wynn spinning out in pit road. Mark Vondell. Jeremy. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, big hit.
Mark Vondell gets ARCA braked by the 0-1 of Michael Wingo. And now we can't seem to get a lap in. So, let's go back and see what started this one. It is. You do kind of have to laugh at it sometimes because it's just crazy. But, I mean, to be fair, there's lots of damaged trucks out here. And that can definitely affect the handling and the pushing and everything of that nature. You see Dylan Jones. Dylan Jones is a very high-quality driver. He's obviously not just going to spin out Mike Davenport. And Mike was involved in that accident. And you can see the damage on his left front. That just gets him loose, and on the rear. Gets him loose. He tries to save it. Davenport's going to spin back up the track right in front of Jones. Josh McCullough nowhere to go. He's going to come down, clip the 41 of Osborne. Rick Schneider running over some people. Freddie Bazinez down there trying to miss Jeremy Osborne. He just might get a clip of him right there. See if we can go up to Freddie. He's going to get away okay. See, back to Osborne down here. He's going to spin. You see Kyler Wynn going down to pit road, and he's locking it up, spinning it out, trying to save his car. And then we saw Mark Vondell involved as well. He hasn't even shown up onto the... There he is, spinning out. And he's going to get just T-boned right here by the 0-1 right there of Michael Wingo, who has some damage on his car too, to be fair. Looks like that right front is not cooperating. Mark Vondell just gets nailed 10 seconds after the crash. And I'm not sure if Mark took his fast repair or not, but if he didn't already, he needs to now because that was a massive hit for Mark. Getting T-boned right there. See if we can get a couple more angles of this. So, yeah, let's see what Josh Giambrone, thinks of what caused this one.
It looks like Davenport he's got a rear wing damage, and he just lost it out of the turn by himself. Dylan wasn't even touching him. And I guess his rear end just got loose, and there's nothing he can do about it. Tried to save it and couldn't get it.
So it sounds like the cause of caution will be put on the 55 of Davenport. Is that the case?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That would be correct.
So Mike Davenport will be assessed the drive-through penalty, considering we are still in that 20-lap window. And, yeah, just getting a couple more angles of this. Let's look at it out of turn 4. There's Osborne spinning down in the 41. Yeah, so this wreck wasn't as big as we initially thought, but it's still not obviously anything we want to see this early on. Like, we need to get some green flag racing in, That's obviously our goal, and we did have some green flag racing for the first part, and then the whole field got crashed. And then not even one complete lap after the restart, we crashed again, so that is a shame. But at the front, Nathan Harper takes control over Garrett Maines. Asher Little now sitting in P3. David Sheets, J.R. Miller, Brian Hennings, Nathan Rossestill, Sean Corbett, Kenneth McCullough Jr., and Jimmy Emos will round out the top 10 for right now. I want to see if we can grab a quick interview kind of early on in this one. Let's see if we can get a word with the always entertaining Logan York. Let's see what old Logan has to say early on. Logan York, Landon and Josh in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, what up, guys?
So we had, about 10 laps of good, or not even 10, it was like 7 laps of green flag racing. And then the massive one happened, which you were involved in. But now you seem to have gotten all the damage fixed up, and now you're sitting just outside of the top 10 in 11th right now. So what are your thoughts early on?
Yeah, looking like it's gonna be a long race. I just got out of a 500 today, so I was hoping this would be a pretty quick race, and it doesn't look like my dreams and aspirations will be met today.
Well, yeah, hopefully they will. That's everyone's hope, that we kind of get going green and get some laps under us, but you never know with a field this size, especially at Daytona, considering how bad netcode can be and things of that nature. But looking forward, I mean, how's the fuel looking? We know it's like 50% of the tanks and everything, but is this like a 2-stop race, a 3-stop? What are we looking at?
It's looking like around 3 more stops.
So that is good news for us, because if we can get to the green flag pit stops, that will probably separate the field out, and we know Logan York is going to most likely be at the front of it as someone who definitely knows how to pit. Well, we appreciate you talking to us, Logan.
Of course. Thank you for dragging me up.
That was Logan York's thoughts. So you see, he did a 500-miler earlier, and then he gets into this race and kind of struggling to get going here, Josh. But hopefully we will, and like we said, get some laps under us.
Yeah, if they can keep it alive here, we're already down a good, probably like 5 or 10 cars here. And I mean, we're only on lap 14 out of 75, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an endurance race at this point.
Yeah, a lot of guys just coming off of the 24 hours at Daytona. Some might still be doing it. And yeah, this is kind of getting that feel early on. But here comes Harper and Garrett Maines to lead the field into the box. They're going to go a little bit early, kind of a stack up on the bottom with Ross still, it looks like, but everyone's going to get away okay. And just a very good start by Garrett Maines on that outside in that number 1 machine. Timed it perfectly, waiting for the green flag. He's going to get clear, and David Sheets just drives down into Nathan Harper, and we're wrecking again. What are we doing?
They tunnel vision, straight up tunnel vision up front.
I mean, that's the only explanation for that. And yellow flag flies, even though they saved it. Might have been a little bit of a early trigger finger by Josh here in the booth, but that's okay. I mean, that was a wreck right at the front of the field. David Sheets is killed. Look at him. He's struggling to steer. That truck is shaking all over the place. And this time we couldn't even get out of turn 1. So at this rate, we're going to stack up on the restart and then have another huge one on this next restart. But let's take a look at it. I think everyone kind of clearly saw what went on right here. A little bit of tunnel vision when Garrett Maines cleared down in front of Nathan Harper. David Sheets in the 06 behind him just drives down the track, and Nathan Harper's there, and David's going to come back up the track, get up into Brian Hennings. What a hit by Brian. Nowhere to go for Brian Hennings, and they're going to keep it going just fine, like nobody really spun out, and everything's okay. You see Logan York in the 31 drifting that thing on the bottom of the racetrack, sitting there on the apron, doing a good job. Look at Chase Mastretta in the 8th thread in the needle around James Waring and Brian. Jimmy Emos in the 11 doing a good job, missing all this. And everyone's going to get away okay. We're just going to take a couple more quick looks at this, because this one's pretty cut and dry. Not much else to look at here, but get another look at David Sheets. From a couple different angles right here, just down into Harper, up into Hennings. Big hits up against the wall.
Big. His whole right front is disconnected from the car.
Yeah, that is definitely not something that you want to see driving a race car. But let's take a look, go back and see this from Brian Hennings' perspective, because I know it's going to be an interesting one to say the least. Because he just got absolutely blindsided by David Sheets coming back up the racetrack. Brian Hennings gets just bam right there. Sheets goes down on Harper and back up the track, and Brian's just, I mean, you can tell how unhealthy that car is. That might be his fast repair, or that might be his night. We're not entirely sure, because I mean, that first wreck was so massive you can't really keep up with who still has one, who doesn't. Oh, he almost hits Jimmy Emos right there, still trying to keep it under control. Go ahead and take it back live. There's David Sheets. Looks like he's going to take his fast repair. And we'll see Brian Hennings. We are able to find him. There he is. With, let's see, it looks like maybe a brand new truck for that 74. So he did have a fast repair. That's good news for Brian and David Sheets, who will still be able to compete in the race. And that was kind of a easy way to give control of the race back to Garrett Maines. He timed the restart so well that it got him ahead of the field, and then quick caution, and that now switches Harper and Maines once again to where now Maines is the control car. Harper will have to base his starts off of Garrett Maines, and Asher Little still sits in P3, J.R. Miller 4th, Sean Corbett in 5th, Kenny McCullough 6th, Chase Mastretta 7th, Nathan Ross is still in 8th, James Waring up into the top 10 in 9th, and Steve Sizemore back in 10th. So, I mean, at this rate, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get another interview. I think, Josh, that's probably our best thing that we can do here.
Yeah, what if we pull Scooter McLean up here if he's
You know
in
what?
there?
Yeah, let's talk to Scott. Scott's always a character to talk to. Let's see if we
He's
can
a
find
great
him
one.
real quick. If I'm able to. Some more
you can
technical
find
difficulties going on right now. Trying my absolute hardest, I promise. Here we go. Scott McLean, Landon and Josh in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Well, it's going. I think that's the proper terminology right now. But you're sitting back here in 30th place right now, and that's probably not a bad place to be, kind of sitting at the back the way this race is going. We can't even get a lap in right now. But talk us through your race so far, and are you trying to keep that thing clean? I mean, that's obvious. You're obviously trying to, but what are your thoughts just going forward? What's your plan?
I'm going to just hang back here and kind of see how it goes. It seems like everything is going on. It's happening up front. So I'm going to try to keep my nose clean, stay out of trouble, and put it where it needs to be at the end. So,
yeah, that is the words from Scott McLean. A very good strategy for Scott back here. Trying to avoid everything so far, knowing that we still have about 56 laps through the rest of this race.
You guys are in for a long night.
That's what it is so far. But we spoke to Logan York earlier. Sounds like we still have 3 more pit stops in this race. So if we can get to those, I feel like it probably calmed down. But yeah, you're taking P30 right here. We wish you the best of luck and appreciate you talking to us.
Thanks a lot. You guys have a good one.
Yep.
You too, buddy.
That is Scott McLean at the number 58. Giving a little bump to Mark Vondell right there in the 59.
You know, Landon, I'm thinking this inside line here. You think it's going to run? Nathan Harper's got Asher and Sean Corbett behind him. Garrett chose the top for a reason. I don't know if that bottom line's going to keep up, though.
We're going to have to find out, but, you know, if you're talking about the pushers on the bottom, that's a solid group, but Garrett has J.R. Miller and Kenny McCullough behind him, and Kenny McCullough is one of the best in the business. So maybe that's what Garrett was seeing, or he trusts J.R. to try and figure this one out. But the pace car rolls in. Garrett Maines is going to be the control car on this restart, as we mentioned. Nathan Harper waiting for the green flag again. Garrett's probably going to easily clear Nathan right here. It looks like he already is clear of Nathan. J.R. Miller trying to tag along with him, but Garrett's going to hop down to the bottom. It's going to leave J.R. and Kenny McCullough up top, but Kenny is nowhere near J.R.'s bumper, and he really needs to get there as quick. Oh, we're wrecking again. Steve Sizemore just got turned. This is insane. Steve Sizemore gets turned, and then here we go again. I mean, this is getting truly ridiculous at this point. Like, this is
going to be an interesting one here.
We made it a little bit further than last time, I guess, but I don't even know what to say. But let's go ahead and take this back. Man. Yeah, no, there's just nothing you really can say. We can't even complete a single lap. But we saw Steve Sizemore get turned in the number 8 machine. We're gonna take a look at him from the top view down, if we can see what really went wrong right here.
Looking from my view, Waring drifts up the track and clips him there.
Yeah, very healthy little bit of net code at first, it looked like, between them, but then they just truly come together. Waring kind of riding high up the track, clipping Steve Sizemore, who was holding his line just fine. Sizemore is gonna get hit right there by James Wagner, but I think Sizemore is probably gonna get away from this okay, doing everything he can to save it. There's Jeff Mert kind of phasing through James Wagner at 30. Dylan Jones hitting a wall behind him. Richard Elliott trying to miss it. Ron Hunter in that 37 nailing the brake pedal, doing a fantastic job missing all of this. Heath Job sliding by. And there's Mike Davenport, and yeah, this is I mean, it's ridiculous. Like I said, this is just I'm not sure what else needs to be said, but we go the contact between 13 and the 8, sends the 8 around. James Wagner absolutely nowhere to go. Jeff Merck spinning him. I think Steve Sizemore is going to get away relatively clean from this crash. He's got a healthy amount of rear end damage on his machine, but other than that, I think he's going to be okay. Not worth taking a fast repair if he hasn't already taken it the way this is going. Look at Baker in the 5 making that aggressive move down to the bottom to miss this, as did Freddie Baznez in the 8. Let's get a couple more looks at this, and we'll get a word with Josh Giambrone, see what he thinks, or what the call is going to be from the perspective of race control on this one.
It's going to be on Waring there. He just drifted up. And then I'm looking at the ARCA brakes here because not a lot of people checked up for that big wreck, but I don't think we're going to call nothing there.
Yeah, they might be just getting frustrated at this point too. Like, why stop? Let's just get going, and who knows? It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. But seeing all we can really see right there, back live. We'll just keep grabbing some more interviews, I figure. Up in the lead right now is still Garrett Maines, Nathan Harper, J.R. Miller, Asher Little, Kenny McCullough, Sean Corbett, Nathan Ross, still Chase Pastretta, James Waring, and Rick Schneider. It just hasn't really changed in the past 3 cautions because we haven't been able to get a lap in. So I'm going to go ahead and pull in somebody, and I think someone that could offer some great perspective on what we've had so far. Let's bring up Matthew T. Lee and see what his thoughts are right now. I can probably go ahead and guess what they are, but let's see what he thinks. Matt Lee, Landon, and Josh in the booth, do you have a copy? Matt Lee, Landon, and Josh in the booth, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
There he is. Well, we've had not a lot of racing right now, a whole lot of pacing. Just not able to even complete a lap.
Drinking. I mean, what else are we going to do right now but drink?
Honestly, I don't think anyone could blame you or anyone else, maybe probably even us in the booth, if we were to start doing that, because this is... I mean, I said it once. I said it again. This is just getting ridiculous, and it's a shame, really.
Yep.
Not even 20 laps in, but you were in the lead early. You were involved in that big crash on lap 7, but now you've kind of worked your way back up to 19th place. So if we do get green flag racing here, what's your approach as we try to round this one off?
Well, first of all, we got to survive whatever bullshit's going to happen in front of us again, because we can't complete a lap, so it's expected here. Survive. Get a pit stop and go from there.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously going to be what all of us want to see, and hopefully we can get that, especially y'all out there on the track. But we spoke with Logan York earlier, mentioning he said something about 3 more pit stops that we'd have to go through right here. But at this rate, I mean, are we down to 2? Like, what should we be expecting here?
Yeah, right now we can go 16 on a run. I don't even know what that puts it at. I think we're 2 to 3 still. So
yeah, so we've got a healthy amount of time past us, and we'll see if we can complete a lap under the green flag on this restart.
That's it for me right now. It's just completing a lap under green, and then position itself for pit stops and stuff. We guys that are in front of us here. There's a few that are going to have to pit early, so, just kind of wait for that to happen and then make your move.
Yes, sir. That is the perspective from Matthew T. Lee up here in the booth. We appreciate you talking to us.
Yeah, appreciate it, brother.
He will be taking this restart from the 20th position. And let's try it again, Josh. I mean, we just can't catch a break right now. We're going to be coming to lap 23, and 50 laps to go. What if it goes green from here? That'd be the ultimate surprise.
I would love it, but I doubt it. They're all arguing in race chat. It's going sideways very quickly. They're arguing in the back. They're bumping each other. They're about to turn each other. I mean, it's getting bad quickly.
Josh Giambrone's got his work definitely cut out for him. We're coming to the green flag this time. Garrett Main's waiting for that late launch once again. We're stacking up on the top. I pray we're not going to have another wreck from that. We're not going to. Nathan Harper timed it pretty well. There is a wreck in the back. Let's see if we can get a look at it. Yeah, it looks like everyone's getting away okay. Back up front. Dude, a little bit of a breakaway again. Just 6 trucks right here. 3 on the bottom, 3 on the top. Nathan Ross is still in the 67, kind of bridging it for Chase Mastretta, James Waring. And we made it out of turn 2, so that's what we should be happy for right now. We'll see if we can make it out of turn 4 this time. Here comes Garrett Maines with the run and the push from J.R. Miller on the bottom. A great push. Look at Kenny McCullough connecting to the back of J.R. Miller in our 78-2, allowing Garrett to hop up in front of Nathan Harper coming out of 4 here. J.R. Miller, though, J.R. Miller's easily clearing out, too. There goes James Waring. He's coming in for a pit stop. I assume that's probably for his penalty earlier. He wasn't able to take it beforehand. J.R. Miller's still clear right here. Garrett Main's getting that run up on the top, a little bit of a push from Nathan Harper. They're not connected, but then again, neither is the 78 and the 03 on the bottom. They are now. But it's kind of just evening out right here. JR getting loose off the bumper of Kenny McCullough. And everyone else in the back's just single filed out now. I think they got past like 1 or 2 laps after a restart, and they decided, I don't want any part of this. We're just going to sit, ride in line, save some fuel, and just watch it unfold in front of us. But right now, they're keeping it pretty tame. It's still just 2x2. Obviously, no 3-wide action right now. There's Asher Little trying to get some temperatures. And of course, as I say, there's no 3-wide. There goes Kyler Wynn, of course, hopping up to the 3rd line with a push from Freddie Basnez in the number 8. Just the 2 of them up there right now, though. But considering how that 3rd lane kind of worked earlier, it seemed like you kind of needed a couple more trucks to make it work. Look at Rick Schneider kind of riding up into Kyler Wynn all over the place, kind of in that number 22 in the middle. Garrett Maines still leading the bottom, Nathan Harper in the middle, and it's just getting zigzaggy in that middle lane. That's not good news for Kyler Wynn or Freddie Basnez, but Freddie Basnez doing a great job pushing Kyler Wynn up to the lead right here. Not going to be good enough, though. There needs some more help up there before Freddie gets too hot on his temperatures if Kyler wants to be able to clear down and to keep that 3rd lane efficient, but nobody's wanting to bite. They're just all kind of sitting up there. There's somebody wanting to bite, and it's Logan York, and how about Rick Schneider, that number 22, also going to hop up there and try and hop back into line, it looks like. A very short-lived stay in the 3rd line. Chris Melton looks like he didn't really appreciate how tight of a clear that was. Here comes Logan York to the... Oh, he just hooked it. Oh, my goodness.
There's another one.
I mean, Freddie Basnez just got trashed. There's Dylan Jones, Josh McCullough, Scott McLean. Yeah, I mean... Yeah, Freddie just got cleaned out.
Yep. That one's pretty cut and dry there.
Well, we made it a little bit longer, and the good news is we're a third of the way through the race now, but look at Freddie Basnez. He's destroyed, and we saw him involved in that first crash, but he didn't seem to have a lot of damage, so I doubt that he really had a lot I doubt that he took his fast repair, so hopefully he can get back to pit road and be able to repair it from there. But let's go ahead and take a look at it. It was Freddie Basnez up there, Rick Schneider in the number 22. It looks like we saw him kind of wiggling a little bit in that middle lane. And he just came up to Basnez. Ooh, well, hold on. Let's get another look. Basnez going a little bit low, but then Rick Schneider's just all the way up the racetrack, cleaning out the 8 of Basnez. It's going to put him directly into the wall. Logan York slamming on the brake pedal back there, trying to miss this. Did not mean to go. Let's see if we can get some better perspectives. Here's Dylan Jones. Look at Jeff Merck in the 60, threading the needle between Jones and McCullough. We saw Jones kind of tapping the wall right here, trying his best. He's going to come down and just hit the nose of Freddie Basnez, take out Josh McCullough in the process. And then Basnez in the 8. Gonna hit Scott McLean a little bit, but that's meaningless contact right there. So get a couple more views of this and see what happened to the guys that kind of just ended up in the crash behind all this. See, Baznez just gets hooked. Big hit in the wall. Scott McLean got cleaned out. There's Mark Von Dell getting involved. The big hit right there for Jones and McCullough. Mike Davenport hanging a left in the 55 to miss it. Jeremy Osborne in the 41. Big piece of debris flying into the air right there. So, yeah, we made it about, what, 3-4 more laps that time. So it's progress. But at the end of the day,
it was 2.
Oh, maybe 2. It's still progress, and that is atrocious to say, but it is progress at the end of the day. And it just, you know, I don't know. I don't really have an explanation. That big hit from Baznez in the 8. And the wreck continuing down there. It looks like Michael Wingo in the 01 spinning out. Looks like he's going to get away okay. But, yeah. Here we are again. Caution flag number 5. Just a third of the way through the race. There's Baznez.
It's going to be a long one.
Yeah, it's good.
It's going to be a long one.
It's probably going to be a long one. Yeah, there's Baznez. We're seeing him. He obviously took his fast repair back on the racetrack, so that's great news for him. There's a look at Rick Schneider with some damage repairing. It appears there's James Wagner, Mark Von Dell, Scott McLean coming back out with what appears to be a relatively new race truck, so good for Scott. There's Jason Mayens, who had a great finish the other night in John Ward's Friday night rush hour race. He finished P2 in that. That was great to see for Jason. He's got a little bit of damage right in front of that left rear wheel, but overall looks like he should be fine to continue. Jimmy Emos, without Dylan Jones, has been involved in just about everything tonight. Still out here on the racetrack. Still trucking. It's good for him. Here's Josh McCullough. James Waring. Ron Hunter having a good clean run so far. And yeah, so we're going to be restarting the race here on lap 30. We're on 29 right now. They double back up, and this is just absolute, I mean, I don't know what to put it. It's so easy for Garrett Maines. All these like guys up front right here. Garrett Maines, Nathan Harper, Asher Little, J.R. Miller, Kenny McCullough, Chase Mastretta. They've all just kind of been sitting here these past couple cautions while everything happened around them. Especially Garrett. He barely got away with that incident involving David Sheets and Nathan Harper. But, yeah, here we go. So, we're going to try it again. We're already 5 cautions down. What's another one? So, I really, really hope we can get some green flag racing here. Asher Little having a good run up there in that 13 machine. See if we can keep going back here. Here's Matt Lee. Made it through that wreck. We spoke to him under the last caution. He's up to 12th. Matthew Baker in the number 5. Who was involved. He got turned out of the lead in the first caution of the race. He's slowly working his way back up through the field. He's up in 13th position right now. So we can talk about a few other guys. Dalton Steele back here. He had a destroyed race truck earlier, and here he is, kind of back in the thick of things. Chris Melton as well. Hunter Hastings. Mike Davenport back into it. David Sheets as well. Michael Wingo, we saw him involved in the last one, but got away okay. Steve Sizemore's back in this. So the fast repair is definitely doing a lot of guys' favors right now, Josh, but it's also, in my opinion, at least kind of insinuating what we are seeing going on.
Yeah, you know, we got some stuff going on here. I mean, we still got people wrecking about to come to the green flag here, and I don't know what's going on in this pack here, but people are just running each other over like they ain't paying attention, nothing.
Yeah, that's great news always to hear wrecking under the yellow flag too, because why not, I guess. But here comes Garrett Maines into the box, waiting for the green to come out again. He's got Kyler Wynn on the bottom. Garrett chose the bottom this time. That's something different for him. He's been choosing the top. He wanted the push from Kyler Wynn, and honestly, Kyler's one of the best in the business when it comes to pushing as it is. You know he's going to get you to the front. He knows how to push. He knows how to maintain a push, control the temperatures. And we're seeing it right here, right in front of us. Pushes Garrett Maines clear. On the bottom, it'll be up to Garrett in that number 1 to hop up in front of Nathan Harper if he wants to, but he's just going to kind of sit at the bottom right now. Nathan Harper getting that run up off the top with the push from Asher Little. Kenny McCullough driving through the 13 as well, trying to advance that line. Great push on the outside. Look at that, but it's not good enough because Kyler Wynn connected to the back of Garrett. And it's probably going to push Garrett clear here. Not sure, but there's Steve Sizemore in the back hopping up. Asher Little getting a little bit squirrely behind Nathan Harper. That's not doing them any favors. Garrett Maines still getting that nose up ahead, but just can't quite clear him into one. Kyler getting him a little bit wiggly now. Nathan Harper, they're still just kind of drag racing here. It's kind of what we've been seeing right now. It's just the Garrett Maines and Nathan Harper show. Nathan's going to clear down right there. What a push from Asher Little and Kenny McCullough, but you know at this point, Kenny's got to be getting pretty hot himself, pushing 3 cars deep. He's still pushing Asher. Asher, a very high arc into that corner. Not what you want to see. You need to see that outside leader right there on the door of the inside line, wrapping it as close to them as possible, giving them a little bit of side draft as well. Looks like Asher Little's going to have the nose over Nathan Harper right there at the line. Kenny McCullough still somehow having some temperatures to push Asher Little, but you know it's not going to last too much longer. And then Garrett Maines down there on the bottom pushing Nathan Harper as good as he can. Going to be able to clear Harper out of 2 here.
You know, we might actually get a run here. Might actually go some laps.
Yeah, you say that, and we're about to have a caution on the next lap. I feel it.
It's coming.
We're already cursed. Anytime I'm broadcasting a race, I have the worst announcer's curse possible. Now you're in the booth with me, and we're definitely going to have one now that you said that. Or maybe we won't now that I said that we're definitely going to have one. Who knows? But Garrett Maines now clears up to the top, leaving it to Kyler Wynn on the bottom. J.R. Miller now tasked with pushing the 82 of Kyler Wynn on that bottom lane. Garrett Maines decided to hop up. They obviously got a pretty solid run when Harper decided to clear up in front of Asher Little. And now that bottom lane's kind of rolling, even though it's not as organized as that top lane. But that outside is definitely going to have the run coming out of 2.
Oh, if they get a third line working here, they might be able to get some pushing going, but it looks like everybody's just trying to sit and wait. They know another big one's coming. Everybody knows it. It's just a matter of time here.
Yeah, it is, but it really depends on if we get to that green flag pit stop or not. And I keep looking at the lap counter, and I can't believe we're only 33 laps in. That's just a testament to how this race has gone. Oh, there it is. Oh, my goodness. Right as we say it. Sadly blinking out, of course. That was Rick Schneider, it looked like, got turned. Or Ron Hunter, actually. There he is in the 37, spinning out. Of course, I was just bragging on how clean of a race he'd been having. And he gets wrecked right here at the back. And unfortunately, I'm not sure he's going to tow that car, even though it looked like he's got away okay.
He just wrecked him. He just wrecked himself. He got loose by himself.
Well, we're going to take a look at this. And we saw them blink out, unfortunately, so we're probably not going to be able to get a good long look at this. But there's Ron Hunter in the 37, and even backing it up, it looks like, sure enough, that's the case. He just loses it on the bottom. And he's going to come back up the racetrack. Take Rick Schneider completely out in that 22. Both of them getting up in the air a little bit. See Freddie Baznez, Logan York trying to miss it down there, and they're going to blink out right there, unfortunately. I'm going to back this up a couple more times. I want to grab another interview with somebody if we can, but I receive. Yep. No, he just loses it in the very, very back of this pack. Ron Hunter in 37 sideways, and that has a very strange look to it. I mean, that thing just snapped sideways on him. I'm confused at what I've seen, but because I mean he was going straight and then it just turned left and then went back up. I mean, obviously if you turn it that much left, it's probably going to come back up anyway, but just how quickly that thing snapped down to the left is kind of odd to me. Just a strange look. Let's see if we can go into his cockpit real quick and see his steering movements as they happened. So he's sitting behind Richard Elliott in the O2 right here. And he just turned some... I don't even know. I honestly don't know.
No words.
It's not like he... That just looks strange to me. Yeah, he obviously got loose, but the wheel movement didn't really speak to that. Like, I don't know.
Unless he had rear aero damage.
That could very well be the case. He could have some damage, and that would definitely affect something like that, because when it comes to the trucks, more than anything, if you have some like rear damage on that thing, especially aerodynamically, it will snap sideways on you. So that might have been the case for Ron Hunter, because like we said, his steering movements didn't really say anything to that effect. But Brian Hennings has made his way to the lead after getting slammed into the wall earlier. There he is, taking the chicane. Kyler Wynn in second, Garrett Maines third, J.R. Miller fourth, Nathan Harper in fifth, Chase Mistretta sixth, Jimmy Emos up to seventh, Asher Little eighth, Sean Corbett in ninth, and Heath Jobe in the top 10. Well, I'm being requested by Danny Barnes in the chat to get a word with Heath Jobe, if we can find him real quick. So let's see what old Heath has to say. I know Heath probably definitely has a thing or two to say about it, if we can even find him. Down here, we're looking for him. I'd love to get a word with Heath if we can. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing him in a Discord call right now, so Danny, if you could tell him to join over here, we'll definitely get a word with him under the next yellow flag. We're certainly going to have one, so it's going to come out, but I'm just not seeing him in here right now. So let's pull up what else we got down here. Maybe Freddie Baznez. We can talk to Freddie, see what he's thinking right now after he's had a pretty roller coaster of a race.
Pull up Merck as well. Merck's had an interesting one here.
Well, I'm in the process of pulling Freddie up. We'll talk to Merck on the next one, too. Freddie Baznez, Landon and Josh in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, what's up?
Well, you've had a topsy-turvy kind of race so far. You got absolutely cleaned out earlier, pushing the third line, I should say. And you were up front earlier, kind of fell back with that massive crash that happened. You're still in this thing, though. Obviously, without a fast repair, though, you're sitting in 32nd place right now. So some work to do, but honestly, at this point, like Matt Lee said earlier when we talked to him, you just got to survive. And that right now is what you're doing. So what are you thinking so far?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten taken out by two guys. That guy couldn't hold the line, just turned me. Then right now on pit road, Steve Sizemore running like a lane off from where the pit boxes are, and he just ran me over, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I just gotta survive. I've been to the front a million times. I've been in the back a million times, so I just gotta stay up there, stay clean, and I think I got a chance here.
You definitely do have a chance, but it's been an odd one to say the least with that kind of rash of cautions we had. Couldn't even get a lap in, like 3 in a row. And now we've started to get a couple more laps in, but now we keep wrecking. The best thing for you, I think, you're sitting at the back, you don't have your fast repair, you just got to bide your time right here, but I really don't have much else to say because everyone keeps saying the same thing. It's just the craziness that's going on right now. But all I can say is good luck to you. Hopefully you get back up to the front, get you a solid finish. Appreciate you talking to us.
Yeah, thank you.
That is Freddie Baznez. And right now it's just, yeah, I mean, like Freddie said, it's just survive. And the same thing like Matt Lee said. We're going back green here. Kyler Wynn is the leader of the race. Brian Hennings gave away his lead. Seems like he came in and pit once more. So Kyler Wynn, Garrett Maines, J.R. Miller, and Chase Mistretta, Nathan Harper as well. Right now, going to be leading them into turn 1. Jimmy Emos did not get a good start on that outside in that pink and blue number 11. He's going to be needing Sean Corbett to try and give him a push. Oh, whoa, what is happening right here? Lots going on. There's a little bit of almost wrecking in the back. Would not be the least bit surprising if they did end up wrecking. There's J.R. Miller blinking as the lead pusher on the bottom. Asher Little made a very aggressive move up to the top of that 13 behind Nathan Harper. Jeff Merck, it looks like, kind of pinned right out on the outside back here. All alone up there in that number 60 truck. Going to need some help up there. Scott McLean up working his way there in the 58. But he's not going to help Merck. He's just going to let Merck go on by him. Nobody home for Jeff Merck. And J.R. Miller getting kind of spun right there under the apron. Not sure what just went on there. Jeff Merck's in the wall in the back. Keeping up, somehow hanging on to it. Scott McLean went with him for a little bit. But any and all momentum they had right there just definitely killed him. Look at the shifting by Brian Higgs going on in the back. Jimmy Emos all over the place in the middle as the third one in the back, but he's going to hang on to it for now. Sean Corbett behind him. Matt Lee right there. In the 04, he's going to hop down to the bottom. Garrett Maines, Kyler Wynn, both clear. Garrett's going to clear up. JR trying to push Kyler. Chase also kind of pushing through JR. Now they're off of each other. It's not good news for the bottom lane, but they are going to be entering the corner, which is obviously better news for them, taking the shorter way around the racetrack. They got lots of 3 wide going on in the back. This is what's interesting right now. Look at him. Richard Elliott leading that lane. Logan York up there in the 31. Freddie Baznez not taking it lightly. He's leading that third lane. He wants to try and get some track position here. Scott McLean's dooring Jason Maines. Jason Maines is going to save it. Great save by Jason Maines. Love to see that. Logan York's going to hop to the middle, leave Richard Elliott high and dry on that outside. So we're getting a little bit aggressive, Josh, but they're actually hanging on to it right now. So that's good news. Oh, never mind. Logan York's dooring somebody, and there's something going up on the front. Chase Mastretta's... Oh, Kyler Wynn's getting split. Jimmy Emos is dooring Chase Mastretta. There's a lot going on right now. There's a breakaway on the bottom with Garrett Maines, Nathan Harper, Asher Little, J.R. Miller, and Chase Mastretta. Heath Job as well. Nathan Ross is still clear. Not really sure what's going on, but J.R. Miller's going to hop up to the top. Chase Mastretta doesn't want any part of it. He's going to stay on the bottom, leave J.R. out to dry. Heath Job, that will probably advance Heath up to the top 5 of this race. There goes Matt Lee, going to go up there and help JR. Kyler Wynn as well. Mike Davenport back in the top 10 in the 55. And these cars are kind of broken away a little bit. Matt Lee splits JR Miller. Kyler Wynn's going to go with him, it appears. And now he ditches him, so Kyler kind of tricked Matt right there. Look at Matthew Baker, a massive run. All the way to the 3rd for Matthew Baker in the 5. But nobody home again. Not even his teammate Matt Lee down there. Here comes Jeff Merck, though, his other NBG teammate to his A. Jeff Merck definitely ripping that 3rd lane, wants every part of it. And it definitely helps him out that his teammate Matt Baker's up there for him. That the rest of that 3rd lane, though, kind of just died out with, Logan York and Richard Elliott and those guys back there. They kind of went away, but now Richard Elliott is going to move back to the 3rd lane. A little bit of aggressiveness out of Richard Elliott. He's going to think better of it and go down to the 2nd lane. Not much really working out for Baker and Merck right now. Baker's going to find a spot in front of Steve Sizemore, and Merck's going to file in behind Steve Sizemore. So we're back to 2x2. J.R. Miller, the leader of the race. Great run for J.R. He's really been turning up the wick recently. He took his kind of hiatus from money racing as well, and struggled a little bit when he came back, but ever since then, he's been leading laps every single race, and here he is in a huge races. Little Dog, Big Dog race with 40-something trucks in it, and he's out here leading, controlling the lanes in front of Garrett Maines and Matt Lee, Josh.
I mean, I really don't understand what's going on here in this race, man. They're 3 wide racing for the back with no faster pairs, and I mean, JR's up front running a great race right now. He's fending off a lot of people, but these guys, they just now. It took them 4.5 laps to get a 2nd line for him there. And, they're still racing 3 wide in the back. All the way in the back. Still 3 wide. But
yep, there it is again. Logan York hopping up to that 3rd with Chris McCullough, even though they're both slamming into the wall. We hear every time that this set on this corner, we hear them slapping up against the wall. Luckily, no crash. But that killed that 3rd lane immediately. And now Kyler Wynn or somebody's blinking out in the front of the pack. J.R. Miller. He's going to return back to the track, cleared down in front of Garrett Maines. Freddie Baznez now all alone in the back, trying to lead that 3rd line up there. Nobody going with him for now. Might be Richard Elliott that wants to go with him. Who knows? Logan York underneath him. But hey, we're getting some clean laps in. There's J.R. Miller. Oh, wow. Matt Lee just shuffled J.R. Miller out of the way when JR cleared up. So JR Miller just pinned up on that 3rd lane, going nowhere. Matt Lee now going to be the leader of that outside. JR Miller out of the picture. He's going to find a spot in front of Hunter Hastings. That's good news for JR. He didn't go all the way to the back, but definitely an aggressive move right there by Matt Lee. Just kind of pushed him out of the way. How about Logan York going to hop up in front of Freddie Baznez to try and lead that 3rd line? Somewhere Chris McCullough up there as well.
3rd lane's finally rolling now.
Oh, yeah, it's rolling. Look at the
cars.
run.
Finally.
Look at that run that 3rd lane has. With Logan York and Freddie Baznez are flying up there. That advances
Baker
Logan York. Oh, yep, sure enough. Matthew Baker wants a piece of that third lane. He beat Kyler Wynn to it, usually the guy that's first to go up there. So Baker takes advantage of it, and they are rolling right now. Just 4 trucks up there. Matthew Baker's going to get pushed to the lead of the race out of turn 2, I would imagine. Garrett Maines up there trying to side draft him back, doing a good job of it. That definitely hurt Baker a little bit, but that outside's going to have the run out of the corner. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to clear Baker, though, heading into 3. Never mind.
He's going to get clear.
Words, yeah, once again, just them proving me wrong every time I try to say something. Matthew Baker's going to clear down to the middle in front of Garrett Maines, leaving Logan York, Freddie Baznez, Chris McCullough, and Steve Sizemore, the 4 trucks on that third lane right now. Also, Scott McLean in the 58, that pink and blue truck back there, also wants a piece of it. Getting real squirrely in that third lane. These guys kind of pinching down on it. Garrett Maines down to the bottom underneath Matthew Baker. Nathan Harper kind of died out in that run right there, but Garrett took advantage of it. Lots of NBG guys up here now. Matt Baker and Matt Lee kind of teamed up together. Jeff Mert right behind Lee, two trucks back, separated only by Kyler Wynn. Steve Sizemore didn't want any part of the third lane anymore and hops back down to the middle. J.R. Miller's still blinking out there. He definitely needs to get that fixed up, but I'll tell you what, Josh, I think we're approaching a green flag pit stop here. Because, I mean, you know, I don't even remember who we interviewed earlier that said it was about 16 laps on a tank. I think it was Matt Lee. And we're actually getting some green flag running in, and all these guys kind of shuffling down to the bottom made me think about it. But that's not good news for Logan York, Freddie Baznez, and Chris McCullough. Ooh, Nathan Harper, a tight clear in front of Garrett Maines. Leaving Asher Little out of nowhere to be leading that third. Nathan Harper doesn't want him to lead it because he's going to go down there. Not the third, the bottom, I should say. Look at Logan York find a spot in front of Matt Lee. Freddie Baznez and Chris McCullough now just all alone out there. Still lots of 2x2, though, so we're not coming up on that pit stop just yet, but you know it's near. Garrett Maines out trying to move to the bottom. Nathan Harper blocks it. A good block by Nathan Harper heading into 3. Those two still pinned up on the third. It was a good move for Matthew Baker. He took advantage of those guys. So did Logan York. They're now sitting in a pretty good position. Garrett Maines going to hop up in front of Matthew Baker, leave Nathan Harper. Asher Little, a big hit to the 35 of Harper. It's going to easily clear Garrett Maines. Yep, 3 wide. Oh, Logan York, what a move to the bottom. Those two Bobble League trucks of York and Harper. What a wild clear down by Logan York. That was insane. That was almost our second big one right at the front of the field, but they managed to make it work, thankfully. Still leaving Maines and Baker to be the leader of the lines. Kyler Wynn all alone up in the third. Nobody wanting to go with that 82 truck right now.
He got hung out by Freddie there.
Oh, yeah. He got hung out. Freddie Baznez did find a spot in line. 4th on the outside, the second line right now. So did Chris McCullough. It's good news for them. We're still 2x2. That third lane kind of calmed down. And there comes Kyler Wynn going up there. But, again, nobody wants to go except maybe Richard Elliott. It looks like he's going to hop up there. Take his chances with Kyler Wynn. Chris McCullough kind of peeking it, maybe blocking a little bit on Kyler Wynn, and Chris is not going to take it. Freddie might take it. Sure enough, he will. Freddie Baznez leading the third once again, but this time with the push from Kyler Wynn. And Freddie Baznez with a hellacious run on that third lane. Might get pushed to the lead. Garrett Maine's going to clear up, cause a little stack up in the second lane. Only 3 trucks up there. I'll tell you what, I think Freddie, if Kyler can get really well connected to him right here, Freddie's going to have a look at clearing in front of Garrett, but it's not going to happen out of that corner. Garrett puts that side draft on his left rear, and now they're just absolutely falling apart. That third lane is at least a great push from the middle of Garrett and Baker. Freddie Baznez lost a lot of time right there, and now he blinked out, and is still blinking out. That's probably why the connection between him and Kyler Wynn wasn't working out. Because, yeah, wow. Freddie blinking out, not a good time for him, but... Oh, Logan York! Logan York saved it. How did he do that? How did Logan York save that truck? What a save by the 31 of Logan York. Matt Baker's going to take advantage and clear in between York and Harper. What a save by Logan York at the front of the field, and a save by everyone else, really, for not overreacting to what was going on in front of them.
Here comes the pit stops. We got people in race chat saying they're pitting this time by.
This will be fun. They always are, watching green flag pit stops. We'll see how many of them actually come in. It might be the whole field. It might just be these guys at the front. We're about to find out.
See if we can keep it clean.
Yeah, keep it clean. 100%. But you see everybody, look at the single file line developing on the bottom. Everyone trying to find their way down, down, down as much as they can and as close as they can. Hopefully, we might have guys pitting from the second lane, and if that's the case, we're in for a real treat. But here they come off of 4. We're going to see who's going to come in and pit this time. Undoubtedly, Garrett Maines is probably going to be one of them. Never mind. Nobody pits. At least that I can see. Yeah, nobody comes in and pits that time, so I'm not sure what Josh was hearing right there. But back up front, it's still Garrett. They might have been calling out next time.
Yeah. No, I got a radio chat from Asher there. I guess they're running out one more though. The leaders decide to go one more.
They're gonna go one more lap, as we're told through race chat. That top lane right there, you know, who's that? Matt Lee, Jeff Merck, Freddie Baznez, Chris McCullough. They're kind of trapped out there, and Freddie Baznez is still blinking really, really bad. He needs to find a way to get that sorted out before the end of this race. But they're still just trapped up there, and they might be having a pit from the second right here. We're going to find out maybe this time. Here they come. Look at everybody. Lots of guys. Chris McCullough stays out. The entry from Garrett Maines. Everyone in the back. Oh, Asher Little, Jason Maines, a little contact. They are able to sort that out. And Josh McCullough's going to hook Mike Davenport, trying to get into his box. That was Josh McCullough. Only one spinning out. The yellow flag will not fly. Mike Davenport getting it looped back around. There's Kenny McCullough with a clean stop. But up here, Christopher McCullough is the only guy that stayed out, along with Brian Hennings, Joey Galati. It looks like only these guys stayed out, and these guys are not formed up whatsoever. Not good news for them. Let's see what's going on up here. Garrett Maines leading them back out. Matthew Baker behind him. Nathan Harper, Jeff Merck, Logan York, Freddie Baznez, Matt Lee, Kyler Wynn, blinking out as well. That's not good. David Sheets, Dylan Jones. So this group kind of gets out pretty okay. All in their little single file line, which is good. Oh, look at Kyler Wynn going up, and Matt Lee kind of blocking him right there. Matt Lee did not want any part of that. Getting passed right there by the 82 of Kyler Wynn. But now they're going to have a pretty big run right here on the back of this pack. The tail end of it is Freddie Baznez in the 8. But the two wide starting to form up with Jeff Merck, Logan York going up there to try and push Jeff Merck. Freddie Baznez going with York. Matt Lee looks like he's going to go with him, or is he going to sit at the bottom for now? And these three that stayed out, Hennings, Galati, McCullough, are just going to get blown by. There's Chris McCullough. They just had no run, no speed, no organization pushing their pace in for their pit lap, I should say. And that really hurt them right there. Let's see who is really in this lead pack here. Obviously, we got Kyler Wynn, David Sheets, and Dylan Jones. Kind of a 10-car, a little bit of a breakaway right here. Back to J.R. Miller, Vicente Guerrero, and Chase Mastretta. Now, these three should be fine. They're still well within the pack right here, which is good news for him. They're not in it yet, but they're getting the draft off of them, which is good. Here's Heath Job and Kenny McCullough giving it everything they can to continue. And then all the way back, here's Chris McCullough rejoined the racetrack in 16th position, way out of the draft, with Chris Melton, Mark Von Dell back here, Richard Elliott, Josh McCullough, Scott McLean, and then there's Brian Hennings by himself, Joey Galati by himself, getting approached by this pack of Corbett, Osborne, Hastings, Steele, and Jason Maines. These guys need a caution right now more than anything, because at this point their race is basically over. They'd have to have a yellow flag fly, and we very well could get one. Matthew Baker's taking the lead of the race with Nathan Harper. They're both clear right here. We're going to see who's going to try and clear up. Right here, it might be Harper, it might be Baker. Right now, neither one want to. There goes Harper. Baker tried to throw a little bit of a block on him, but it wasn't good enough. Harper timing that move up to the top perfectly in front of Garrett Maines. He's going to clear down in front of Baker right here, Josh.
I mean, that was textbook right there. I mean, he killed their run. They're toast now, but it looks like Kenneth and Heath caught the pack, and I think Kenneth would push Kyler if they want to go 3 wide. I'm just waiting for it.
Well, you know that Kyler's going to be leading it, because right now Kyler's not in any position that he wants to be in. He wants to be the guy that leads every lap of every race, and right now he's sitting at 12th with 20 laps to go. But keep in mind, we do still have another pit stop. which should come around 8 laps to go, I would assume, for the next and final pit stop of this race. But right now, it's only 15 cars in this pack.
Yeah. If they run it out, though, I think they're going to short pit it. I think they'll be able to.
They very well could, and you know that would definitely be something we would see if it was a normal money race. But this right here isn't a normal money race, I should say. All the teams that are in this are required to be in Discord together. Now there are teams of 2, and they're all over the map. And I know I promised this week I would have it specified on the leaderboard. I did not have time to do that this week. I will have it done for next week. But these guys have to be in Discord together. Now, of course, there's still ways to communicate through iRacing. As J.R. Miller hops up to the 3rd in front of Kyler Wynn. That's not really working out right there. Kyler drops back in, but there's still ways to communicate between your normal teammates. Like, for example, you know Freddie Baznez, Vicente Guerrero, Chase Mistretta, you know they've got some sort of chat set up to communicate with each other. You know that's the case. Same thing with the NBG guys of Matt Lee, Matt Baker, and Jeff Merck. So if they want to short pit it, maybe they can try and get something between their 2 teams, come in together and short pit like we saw them do in Friday night's race, if they want to. And we're going to find out within the next 2 or 3 laps if they actually do that, if anyone chooses to adopt that strategy. And it's a good strategy just so long as you pit in as perfectly as possible, you get everybody out as perfectly as possible, and get connected as quick as possible. And push pace more than anyone has ever pushed pace before. That's the only way that strategy works. Because then it kind of forces the hand of everyone else, because then they have a choice. Do they want to stay out and run the fuel tank out? Or do they want to come in and pit that time? So it's always an interesting strategy choice. I see the field went by Nathan Rostasil right there. Unfortunately, not the run he was looking for. But we're coming to 16 to go. Yep, that 3rd line. Kyler Wynn and J.R. Miller again, only they've swapped it around this time. And that didn't last long. They're going to file back in the 2nd line.
I think at this point, they're just trying to make it. I think they all just want to survive. I mean, they've been in some big old wrecks this race, and I think they're going to try to either get up front, or they're just going to hang back and not push anything too hard here.
Well, Kyler Wynn is not hanging back, and he's pushing hard. So is J.R. Miller. They're pretty locked at the hip together right now. Every move that one makes, the other one seems to go with him. And Kyler, Jeff Merck almost sliding up in front of him. They'll get mad. Oh, Jeff Merck's going to, whoa, there it is. There's the yellow flag. Jeff Merck, everybody. Freddie Baznez up and over. And the number 8, it looks like he's going to actually save it. There's Kyler Wynn, Vicente Guerrero. They're still saving it. Kyler's just driving over Freddie for some reason. Freddie's still trying to save it. Vince barely missing Freddie in the 14. And there goes all that strategy talk. And now the rest of the field is going to be caught back up. Our 7th yellow flag of the night. It looks like this all originated with Jeff Merck. So we're going to go back and see. You can find Jeff Merck right here. We saw there was a little bit of initial contact right here between Merck and Kyler. Merck in the 60 truck right there pushing Garrett Maines in the 1. Matt Lee clears up, and Merck's just losing it right there. Freddie's not on his bumper, and he's going to come up and tag Kyler a little bit. Kyler's saving it. Still saving it, and Merck's still losing it. And those two come together. Turns Jeff Merck. Kyler comes down into Freddie Baznez. Vicente Guerrero hops up on the wheel of Dylan Jones. Chase Mistretta all the way at the bottom to miss it. And there's Freddie Baznez up and on his side. Big hit for Kyler Wynn to that outside wall. Baznez truck sits back down. Heath Job, it looks like. Whoa, Heath, what a job by Heath Job. Barely getting through that one. Well, there's Vicente Guerrero coming back up the racetrack into Kyler Wynn and Freddie Baznez. And then it just kind of continued right here. Freddie getting on top of Kyler Wynn's hood. And Freddie's going to keep spinning it right there. And luckily get by the rest of it okay. A couple more angles of this. The entry to turn 3. Look, Jeff Merck up the air. Freddie Baznez take flight right there on the bottom. Thankfully that sat back down. And then it just continues over here. Between Baznez and Wynn. So we can focus this on Freddie Basnez real quick. Look at him. Whoa, up in the air. Sits it back down. Did a great job of saving it. And then these two are just net coating, and Kyler's just driving through him. With Kenny McCullough taking a little hop down there in the grass, missing it. So we can ride on board with somebody right here. Let's see what Jeff Merck saw when this was all going on and well, kind of originating around him, I should say, but him getting involved in this one. Here he is, getting loose up into Kyler, trying to save it. Tagged up against the wall. I don't think his damage is horrible, but considering how few laps we have to go in the race, it could spell bad news for Jeff Merck. A lot of nose damage on that car. Everything else looks fine for Jeff Merck. See if we can get a couple more looks before we take it back live. Back to Basnez in the middle. And just spun down. Dylan Jones lifting him up in the air, sitting it back down. Then this odd kind of net code between Basnez and Wynn. Basnez ending up on the windshield of Kyler Wynn. And spinning that truck back out. Well, take it back live. There's Basnez in the pits, fixing up everything he can. We know that he does not have a fast repair left in this one, but we're going to be restarting with 12 laps to go. They're taking the 1 to go signal this time. I want to see if I can get a word with... Who should we talk to? Let's talk to Matthew Baker, the leader of the race right now. Matt Baker, Landon and Josh in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, thanks for interviewing me. Now I'm going to get wrecked.
My fault. So, well, I mean, that's been the case for everybody in this race so far. So,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's got anything to do with me, but who knows? You're up here. You're leading. You got turned out of the lead on lap 7. You've worked your way back to the front. You threw that whole rash of cautions we had where we couldn't get a single lap in, and then we went green and we made a green flag pit stop, and inevitably a wreck happened. But you find yourself in the lead with a teammate Matt Lee next to you, starting outside of you. So what are you thinking towards the end of this? Like, do you feel like you got some good shots here? You got a good chance to win it? Or are you scared of surviving, basically, at this point?
You know, I know Matt and Harper and Garrett are racing for a spot in the championship, so I'm not going to try and do anything too dumb. Luckily, you know, it's people that I run with all the time around me. Just keep the truck clean, come home in a money spot, and move on to the next day. That's going to be the big thing. But yeah, I don't know if anyone's told you in any of these interviews, but we loaded up the bumpy setup instead of the 2011 setup. So that's why you're seeing some people lose it on their own and a little bit more out of shape down the straightaways.
That is fascinating. So, you know, we saw some guys just kind of losing it so far in this race, and that makes a lot more sense as to why. So we appreciate that very much.
Tell you why, the right rear and the right front sitting around 270 and 217, 97%, and a 13-lap run. So if that's going to tell you anything.
That's a tire wear where there shouldn't be tire wear here on a night race at Daytona. Well, we appreciate that insight. Matthew Baker is going to be leading the race right here with 12 laps to go. We appreciate you talking to us.
Thanks, brother.
Well, there's our answer, Josh. That explains a lot of stuff right there.
Explains a whole lot now.
The 2008 version of Daytona setup is on these trucks right now. That's incredible. Matthew Baker, waiting for the green flag to come out right there. Trying to get that push from Garrett Maines on the bottom and Kyler Wynn. That's a very strong trio on the bottom, followed by Logan York, Dylan Jones, just a great trio on the bottom. I say trio, it's 5 of them. Y'all know what I'm saying, but right now there's 5 of them pulling away from the pack. Matt Lee and Nathan Harper just kind of stuck up there on that outside. Not sure what went on right there. Logan York's going to go up to the top with a push from Dylan Jones. The yellow flag flies. Shocker, shocker. We'll see what caused this one. Jimmy Emos in the pits. Might need some insight from Josh Giambrone in the booth to see what exactly yellow flag's for right here.
You know? I didn't even see nothing. I didn't throw that. It looks like they wrecked before we even went green.
Okay.
I'm just as confused as you are.
Well, we see Jimmy Emos right here, and I saw him kind of in a weird spot in the pits, and he's got some damage. I wonder if this originated with Jimmy Emos, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to take a look at it.
What I'm seeing is it originated with Joshua McCullough in the back, like in the very back. Go back and look way back there. And then Freddie got into somebody as well.
We'll try and back this up as far as we can. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, we are able to see it. Let's just take this up top and see what went wrong. There's a huge stack up on the top. That's the cause of it. Josh McCullough not checking up at all for the checkup. He's going to hit James Wagner, spin James Wagner out. And he's going to... Mike Davenport spinning out. Going to blink out at a bad time right there, but...
Yeah. This...
So, I'm going to take this back and get a couple more angles of this. I want to see if we can focus it on James Wagner. Seems like he's the one that he gets spun out right here in the 30, and then a checkup. Baznaz getting into Davenport, and that caused that one. So just a simple checkup on the restart. Bringing out the caution flag right here. You know, RC right here in the booth did not throw that caution. That was an iRacing caution thrown because it, you know, saw that cars were sideways down there. There's Jeff Merck on the bottom. Not sure what's going on with Merck. That's real interesting. What's going on with Jeff Merck down here? I'm not sure. Oh, he was involved. Jeff Merck was involved in the crash there. He is hitting the wall. Lots of damage on that number 60 machine. Looks like he's just going to pull over and call it a night right there, it looks like. Yep, that is unfortunate for Jeff Merck. So, well, I guess I called that one earlier, Josh, where we said there was going to be a caution.
Yeah.
Right when some like restart checkup or something of that matter, and well, it just took them about 50 laps, but they did it. So I'm not sure whether to be happy or what about that. So, anyway, have a small caution.
I'm lost for words at this point. I really don't even know what to say. Like.
We've had 8 cautions. 8 cautions in this race. And there's going to be 8 laps to go here. Coming to the end of it. We need to go ahead and grab a quick interview with somebody else, I figure. I wonder if we can get a word with... Let's talk to Garrett Maines. See if we can get a word with Garrett. Real quick. Trying to bring him up here. There he is. Garrett Maines. Landon and Josh in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
So we've had a fascinating, that's the word I'm going to use, race so far. Lots of cautions at the front. Then we got into a green flag pit stop, thankfully. And then this caution comes out when y'all are in your own little pack of 15 cars. And now we can't even get past the start-finish line. But you're sitting in P2 right now, and you've had a great race. You've been dominating most of it. So walk us through your race so far and how you've been able to survive, honestly, through all this right now.
Well, I think I was in the right place at the right time to start with, and I've stayed there. Knock on wood. I would like to stay there for 2 more. Well, I guess we're not quite to green, white checkers. Feels like it. Just, you know, a few more attempts here. I don't have a whole lot of faith we're going to go green, but, you know, if we do, I don't think anybody's going to be lifting, to be honest with you. So we'll see how this pans out. We're in a good spot. Honestly, goal is top 5, but shoot, I want to win. So try to get a win and get into the playoffs or into the final and see how this goes.
Yeah, that's obviously the goal here. And we were talking to Matt Lee earlier, and his whole basis was just survival, which you've done a great job of. I think you're the only guy in this race so far that hasn't been involved in a crash. Now, knock on wood. I'm not trying to jinx you. Hold on. You're like the only one out here. We very much hope you can keep that alive. But I don't know. You've got a lot of work to do. You got Matt Baker, Matt Lee, a lot of guys around you that are going to be trying to split you out and race for themselves like crazy here. So towards the end, we know you're good on fuel and everything. Is there going to be any sort of threat of a fuel shortage, you know, like a little bit short on fuel if there was 3 overtimes or anything of that nature?
No, I think everybody's good on fuel, but I will say chat says we're cooked now, so thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're in a good spot. I mean, we'll see how this pans out, but you know, I got to give a huge thank you to Wing and Water Technologies for coming on board this year. Got a new paint here, so hopefully we'll bring it home and get a win for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations on that new sponsorship. Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you talking to us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. That is Garrett Maines, and that was probably a very bad time to try and bring that up, that he was the only car not involved in something tonight, but at the end of the day, it's the truth. So we obviously hope,
Yeah, he's done
for
now.
Garrett's sake, that he can survive. 8 laps to go. Matthew Baker launches in the box very early. That's the first time we've seen an early jump by... there's contact between Garrett Maines and Matt Lee. I thought we were about to have it. Kyler Wynn hops down behind Matt Lee, leaving Garrett all alone. Going to take a while for Logan York and Dylan Jones to catch back up to him. As I said earlier, what a combination. Logan York and Dylan Jones you wouldn't expect to be working together, but Dylan ditches Logan, and Garrett's just parachuting right now. Here comes Kyler Wynn up at the top. Matt Lee blocks him. What a block by Matt Lee in the 04 in front of Kyler Wynn. That was a fantastic job. And now all of a sudden the bottom has no help. Matt Lee's going to get clear, most likely going to hop down in front of his teammate Matt Baker, leaving the outside all open for Kyler Wynn right here heading into 3.
No, it's big stack up on that inside, getting a little shifty there. It looks like Lee touched the apron for a second. I'm thinking it looks like Brian is going to want to go 3 here with Chase, and they're going to make them. Oh, they're looking like they're going to make the move with Maines and Jason Maines and Chase there. But here comes Asher on the outside to try to get it. Looks a lot of shuffling.
Oh, there it is.
Here.
Right when we
There
switched to it. Chris Melt, Richard Elliott
Yep.
getting into it. Big hits.
Hey, it wasn't Garrett Maines.
It was not Garrett Maines, but it was Scott McLean, Michael Wingo, Steve Sizemore, Chris Melton, everyone else getting through it. You're right. It was not Garrett Maines. That would almost happen right after we past the start-finish line. But yeah, it looks like Michael Wingo with a lot of damage to that 01 machine. Chris Melton as well. And there's Freddie Basnez still in the wall right here. Freddie Basnez involved in the crash. Blink out momentarily. So let's take a look. See what caused our 9th caution of the evening. Get a quick look. Let's see who we're trying to go to right here.
Looks like it's going to be on Richard Elliott. Between Richard and Melton, I think it is.
Yeah, that definitely seemed to be the case right when we moved the camera. It looked like Elliott goes to the bottom and just ends up hooking Chris Melton in the 49. Oh my goodness. What an ARCA break.
Yeah. Who is that on? Do you see?
I think that's Hunter Hastings. I don't want to call that out if I'm wrong. I mean, let's verify that because that was pretty brutal. Yeah, sure enough. See everyone on the brakes in front of him. Look at Scott McLean doing. Scott McLean just got cleaned out. He did everything he could to miss that crash. And then there's just all the ARCA brakes behind him, excuse me. And that ends up getting him wrecked. And that's the problem with ARCA braking, is because innocent people like Scott McLean was right here. Let's go back and see Scott. I mean, he is just on the brake. Look at him on those brakes, missing it. Then he just gets wiped by everybody. Why do we ARCA brake? We had the same issue. I don't even remember when it was. It might have been last week, Josh, with just ARCA braking. Why?
Yep.
I truly don't understand it, because Scott McLean was perfectly clean. He did everything he could to miss that crash and just gets bulldozed by 5 trucks behind him. It's ridiculous. It's truly like, why? It's frustrating, and I know it's kind of showing right now, and it shouldn't, but like, I just don't. I truly don't understand it. It's so frustrating for Scott McLean, who did everything right here, to miss this crash, and he just gets massacred behind him. It is a shame. I'm going to take this back up. Let's see. Get a couple more angles of this before we take it back live. Probably want to grab one more quick interview at least before the end of this race. Goodness gracious. Yeah, that's a brutal one. There's Freddie Basnez blinking in and out. Obviously still having internet issues. It's just gone from bad to worse for Freddie Basnez after he was in the lead pack after the green flag pit stops, and since then just he's going to spin it and barely miss the wall right there. Wow. Well, look at Basnez. He's back in 25th place right now. Chris Melton looks like his night is most likely. It's not done. He's still hanging in there. There's Richard Elliott, Michael Wingo, Nathan Ross is still sitting in the pits back here. So is Scott McLean, as we mentioned. Rick Schneider, Jimmy Emos, Hunter Hastings. Yeah, wow. Okay. We just keep wrecking right here, and we're going to restart the race with 3 laps to go, so we're not even into the overtimes yet. Those have not made their appearance, but Kyler Wynn is taking the lead of the race over Matt T. Lee. Garrett Maines, Matthew Baker behind him. Logan York up into the top 5. Nathan Harper 6th. J.R. Miller 7th. J.R.'s been having a great race so far in the top 10 basically the whole night. Watch out for him, see what he can do. Hopefully get a good finish right here. Dylan Jones, Heath Job up in P9, and Christopher McCullough up in 10th. There's lots of those McCullough boys. Get him confused sometimes. Chris McCullough's made his way back to the top 10, so that's good to see right there. But we're going to go ahead and see if we can grab one more quick interview at least. Let's see who we can talk to. Let's see if I can get one real quick. How about... Let's pull up Sean Corbett. Let's see what Sean Corbett's thinking. He's had a pretty relatively clean night. Sean Corbett, Landon and Josh in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I got a copy, boss.
Well, we've had some wild racing right now, and I probably shouldn't say this, but you've had a decently clean race.
I've
so
gotten
far.
lucky. Yep, I've gotten lucky, avoided. I mean, I don't know what happened up there earlier. Jimmy Emos, he went to the outside third lane. I think I was in, 7th or 8th, and I don't know if he had problems or not. I got stuck behind him, and everybody just passed me, and I got shuffled all the way back, and since then, I'm just trying to fight my way forward.
Well, and you're doing a good job of it right now. You're back in P19, granted, but anything can happen in this race, as we've seen, so you might come through the winner of this thing. What's your strategy right here? What are you going to try to do to go up here and win this thing?
I got a fast repair left. I got a full tank. I got some fairly new tires. I'm going to go wherever the spot presents itself forward.
Well, that is...
Maybe I'll pull a Landon and go straight down the middle.
Maybe. Hopefully that'll work for you better than it did me in that race, but we'll find out. Well, we appreciate you talking to us, Sean.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
Yes, sir. That is Sean Corbett,
All right.
taking it from 19th position right here. Who knows what we're going to see out of old Corbett right here. Hopefully a good run for old Corbett right here. One of the personalities of the money racing community. We always want to look out for him, get a good run. Here they are into the box. Kyler Wynn, Garrett Maines, Matt Lee, Matthew Baker, Logan York. Big stack on the bottom, but Kyler Wynn's going to get clear. Not sure if he's going to take it. He probably won't because the outside just has no momentum right now. A little bit more hold up. There's Logan York trying to come back, but that outside, very organized right here. How about that? The teammates, MBG teammates, Matt Lee, Matthew Baker, Nathan Harper, all on that third lane right now. They're probably going to have a look at getting Matt Lee clear at least. Lots of jostling. There's a wreck in the back. It's Chris Melton. It's only one car. That will not bring the yellow flag out. How about this third lane right now? Chris McCullough, David Sheets, Kenny McCullough. All up there. All of McCullough Motorsports. Mark Vondell as well, but now one of them gets into the wall. And that's going to kind of halt that progress. Look at Jason Maines. He wants that spot in the middle. He's fighting Chris for it. They're still kind of fighting over it. Look at Jason riding high. Oh, big crash. Asher Little, Mark Vondell spinning out. We saw Asher Little take a massive hit.
Jesus.
Look,
Almost
Asher Little is killed. That truck is absolutely destroyed. Caution number 10 of the race. And the good news is we're just now getting into the overtime, so we can still have 3 more of them. But look at Asher Little in that 13 machine. That looked like a huge hit on the right side of your screen. Let's go back and see. Let's look at Asher Little. Ooh. So some contact between Asher and Mark Vondell, potentially. Let's go back and see. So, okay, well, I think I have an idea. You can hear the sounds from Josh Giambrone. I mean, this is a strange one. So Kenny McCullough's kind of, I mean, like he was at the top, then went back to the middle, and then whatever. But Asher looks like trying to push a hole that isn't really there. He's going to follow in line. Then Mark Vondell just comes down and turns Asher Little in the 13. A big hit to the outside wall for Asher. Then Mark Vondell. We just spoke to Sean Corbett. It looks like he's actually going to get away okay in that number 45. Mark Vondell spinning out as well. I think that's all we've really had involved in this one right here, so that is good news to hear. See Mark Vondel up here. Slapped it against the wall a little bit, got a little bit of damage, but was able to save it. There's Freddie Baznez in the 8, holding on to it. So, yeah, I think that's probably another pretty cut and dry one, isn't it, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, self-clears are the bane of the racing, man. I mean, he thought he was clear, but he just wasn't, and it killed Asher. I'm pretty sure he's done for the rest of the night.
Yeah, that is a shame for Asher Little. Had a great run going in this one. Definitely do hate to see that.
Actually, he's back out on the track.
Oh, how about that? He still had a fast repair, I guess.
Yeah, he did.
Great news for Asher Little. Still in this thing. So that is good to hear for him. It won.
You know who I'm surprised to see? Freddie Bazinez is still out here with very little damage.
Well,
He's
true.
been through a rough one.
He has, but he's also in 21st place right now. So
it looks like he's missing a right front fender, actually.
Oh, yeah. He's not good at all for Freddie Bazinez. Lots of damage on that right front. But he's still in it. He could very well win the race at this point. It looks like Mark Vondel, there he is in the pits, unfortunately. Richard Elliott sitting back here as well. We're getting some damage fixed up, it appears. Our buddy Sean Corbett right there in the 45. Gained a position out of that. He's up to 18th. Here's Joey Galati in 16th. Who else we got around here? Kyler Wynn's still leading the race. Matt Lee on the apron, saving some fuel, but we spoke to Garrett Maines. Asked him about the fuel. It seemed fuel was not an issue, so shouldn't be too worried about that. But yeah, I mean, there it is. Caution number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10. Lucky number 10.
Yeah. We'll see if it's 11, 12, and 13. Who knows? But we're going to grab another interview while we're at it.
Yeah.
See if we can get one. I know someone that we should probably talk to. I want to talk to Nathan Harper.
Oh, that's going to be a good one.
Yeah, let's see what old Nathan has to say about this. We can pull him up real quick. Nathan Harper, Landon, and Josh in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
So you're still up here. That's good. You had a little bit of adversity early when David Sheets caught a case of a little bit of tunnel vision and came down into you. But since then, you've had a good run and you've got back to the lead of the race. But now you've kind of fallen back to 7th. So what's your game plan here to try and go out here and win this race? Honestly, you're kind of in a compromising position, back half the top 10, but we know you can do it. What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, shoot, P7 really not the greatest spot to be in. I'm gonna get trapped, so I really don't have a plan. But if the top opens up, which I highly doubt it will, I need to take it as soon as I can, I think. But hopefully the bottom gets a run and we can get in the money. Because a win right now, not looking very promising. But hey, if we can make money, that's all that matters tonight. So just gotta hope for the best.
Yep, that is wise words from Nathan Harper. Go out here and hope for the best. And your teammate in this series, if I can be reminded of, you have Jeremy Osborne as a teammate right now. And Jeremy's kind of had a decently clean run so far. He is back in 21st. So it might be a little bit difficult to get you two linked up together. So you're kind of by yourself, but you do have a little bit of teammates or at least people you work with up here. Try and get linked up with them and see if you can move forward. Well, we appreciate you talking to us, Nathan. Have a good one.
Thank you, sir. You too.
The thoughts of Nathan Harper right now. He is in about one of the worst spots you could be in because he's not like back enough to where it doesn't matter. He's like just right there on the edge, but he's stuck on the bottom, 4 cars deep. And like he was saying, he needs that top lane to open up so he can have somewhere to go. But we'll keep an eye on for him. It's going to be kind of hard to distinguish him and Logan York because they're both going to be making crazy moves to try and go up there and move forward. Those two identical trucks kind of linked up together right there. We'll see what they can manage to cook up. But Kyler Wynn and Matt Lee will be leading both of the lines, followed by Garrett Maines and Matthew Baker. Then comes Logan York and J.R. Miller, still having a good run. Nathan Harper, Heath Job up in the top 10. That's good for him. Dylan Jones. And now Jason Maines has found his way to the top 10. How about that? It's good for Jason. Also, how about Brian Hennings? Where did Brian come from? I mean, ever since he had that incident early on in this one, he was kind of killed. Here he is back just outside, knocking on the door of the top 10. We'll see what Brian can try and cook up here for him and his team. Pace car is going to roll off this time by. It's going to be our first attempt at an overtime restart. We'll have 2 more after this should we need them. Pace car rolls in. See what Kyler Wynn can do right here. Launch early, launch late. He's going to wait for the green flag to come out. There it is. Both lines getting some good pushes right now. Matt Baker connected to Matt Lee. Now Garrett Maines is connected to the 82 of Wynn on the bottom. Everyone playing nice right now. They're all just sitting there 2 by 2. It's just a matter of time until that third lane develops. It could very well develop with Brian Hennings and Chase Mistretta in the back. We'll keep an eye on it. Oh, it's going to develop right in front of him. Jason Maine's going to hop up to the third. And Brian Hennings and Chase Mistretta. There we go. We'll see if they can manage to make it work. Kenny McCullough's going to hop up. Heath Job stays in the middle. J.R. Miller hops up in front of it. Now we're 3 by 3 by 3 all the way throughout the pack, Josh.
It looks like we might get the white here, folks. I don't want to call it early, but we might get it. It's going to be hard when Jason Maines goes up to block that middle lane there. And they're going to be spread out in the back. But
Chris McCullough gets wrecked.
They
got the white flag, so the yellow flag will not come out. It's down to Kyler Wynn. Garrett Maines who managed to make his way up there, and that kind of hurt that third lane. They're falling back now. J.R. Miller's going to have to find a spot line, so is Jason Maines and Brian Hennings, but it's still 2 by 2 up front. Logan York shoving through Kyler Wynn right here. Wondering if Kyler's going to clear up or just stay where he is. Logan York is someone that will not let up. And we know this. He's going to hop up. Mark Vondell crashes in the back. Oh, Garrett Maines tries to split him. There goes Garrett Maines. Garrett Maines up and over. Kyler Wynn still leading the race. Logan York and Nathan Harper now behind him. You know a move's about to be made. What is Logan York going to do in the number 31? He is right there by Kyler Wynn, right behind him. Here he goes to the outside. Kyler tries to block. He's still blocking. Blocks him to the wall. No push. Nathan Harper doesn't go with him. He goes with Kyler Wynn, and Kyler Wynn will win the race. Logan York second. Nathan Harper in third place tonight. Kyler Wynn wins the race. Heath Job, a great finish for him, up in fourth. Matthew Baker will be fourth. Heath Job in fifth.
Oof, what an ending.
Crazy ending right there, and I guess it did end up happening. Garrett Maines did get crashed, and that is unfortunate for him. I guess that was our announcer's curse right there. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at what just went wrong on the backstretch, because there was a lot that just went on right here, and it seemed to originate with Garrett Maines, who went up and over and had a wild ride. He's going to end up in 28th position tonight. Look at him just up and over.
You know,
crazy.
That in after race review, that has a possibility to get called on Kyler Wynn.
That is true. There is a after race review process here in MMS Money Racing, so we're going to see just how that could go. But there you see the contact between Garrett Maines and Matt Lee, and then Kyler Wynn coming up to block it, and it just wasn't really there. And then Garrett Maines goes up and over and gets killed by Brian Hennings. Garrett Maines is going to land back on all fours. It looks like barely doing a dance. I was going to get hit by Joey Galati and send him up and over again. There's Freddie Bazinez. Unfortunately, his night is going to end with Garrett Maines on his roof. Garrett Maines in the catch fence right there. What a wild ride for the one of Garrett Maines. Back this up again and just see how crazy this was for him. There he is flipping, and then he just ends up in the fence right here. Look at Garrett Maines all the way at the top of the fence. That truck's going to sit back down on the racetrack and unfortunately result him in a 28th place finish here tonight. Well, that was definitely a crazy finish. That one seemed straight out of like the Daytona 500 or something, what we just saw. That was absolutely wild.
Yeah. And it looks like we will have an after race review here.
We are going to have a review, so not sure what to really think about that. Here's a couple more looks at what happened right here between Garrett Maines, Kyler Wynn, Matt Lee. Goodness gracious, what a crash for Garrett Maines.
Well, at least we got the white and we finished it without running it all the way out.
That is true. We did do that.
Barely, because if I could have thrown it, I would have. It wouldn't let me throw it.
Yeah, so I guess we're going to go ahead and go through your results, at least as they stand right now. I'm going to pull these up for you real quick. Kyler Wynn, as of now, the winner of tonight's race, followed by Logan York, Nathan Harper, Matthew Baker, and Heath Job, the top 5. J.R. Miller will finish 6th. Dylan Jones in 7th. Chase Mistretta in 8th. David Sheets 9th. And Brian Hennings comes back for a top 10 finish here tonight. Jason Maines in 11th. Joey Galati 12th. Josh McCullough 13th. Mike Davenport 14th. Freddie Baznez 15th. Asher Little 16th. Jeremy Osborne in 17th. Richard Elliott will finish in the 18th position tonight. 19th place will be Nathan Rostasil, Matthew T. Lee in 20th, Dalton Steele 21st, Mark Vondell 22nd, Sean Corbett 23rd, Michael Wingo 24th, Christopher McCullough 25th, Garrett Maines 26th, James Wagner 27th, Kenneth McCullough will finish 28th tonight. 29th will be Jimmy Emos, James Waring in 30th, Chris Melton 31st, Scott McLean 32nd, Hunter Hastings 33rd, Rick Schneider 34th, Jeff Merck 35th, Vicente Guerrero 36th, Steve Sizemore 37th, Ron Hunter 38th, and then Daniel Falkingham rounds out the field here tonight. I do not believe he actually started tonight's event. So Ron Hunter will be the final car that finished tonight's race. So we're going to stick around for a little bit, see if we can see what's going on in this after race review room. These things could take 5 seconds or they could take 5 hours. There's really no telling. So I think what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to talk to Kyler Wynn and Logan York and Nathan Harper in the booth, but stick with us while we go ahead and grab them. We will be right back. Welcome back to the finish of race number 2 of the MMS Little Dog Big Dog Series here. We are going to go ahead and start with the third place finisher here tonight, Nathan Harper. Nathan Harper, Landon in the booth, you have a copy.
Yes, sir, I got you.
Well, we spoke to you right before the restart, and you didn't think you had a chance of winning the race, but unfortunately you did not win the race, but at the end of the day, you came home with a podium position, so how do you feel?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, when you pulled me in, I was like, well, if we can cash, I'll take it. And, I don't know what I was thinking because, you had Logan on the outside. If I just go with him, chances are he wins the race. And, I'm the guy that when it comes down to, like, crunch time, I always choke. And I didn't really choke, but I just made a dumb decision. Like, I'm not saying, like, screw you, Kyler, like, not like that. When we're on the track, I look at everybody equal. And I don't know why I went low. We're running the same scheme. We're not the same team. We're on the same team, but we work together. And I'd rather push him to the win, but I just dove it down low and pushed the other guy to the win. But I don't know what I was thinking there. But still, I'm not, for me, we got P3. But I don't know what I was doing there then.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up because I was going to ask you on that decision making. I thought it was a foregone conclusion that when Logan York pulled out a line that you were going to go with him, and you started to, but then you just dropped back down behind Kyler. And I'm sure Logan York, knowing Logan York, is not best pleased with you right now. But at the end of the day, you did come home with a podium position and a cash spot in third place. So go ahead and give out your thanks to your shout outs.
Well, shout out to Logan York. He should have won the race. I screwed him over. Again, I apologize for that. And I was able to work with Baker and Lee tonight on one of the radio calls in the race, and we were controlling the race for the most part, and then we kind of got separated, and we just had to figure it out from there. And shout out to my league teammate, Jeremy Osborne. He ever since he got caught up in that wreck, he was stuck in the back, and we really couldn't get linked up together, so we just had to just find our own way to work around the circumstances, but P3 will take it. And shout out to you guys for interviewing and everyone who showed up.
Yes, sir. That's the words from Nathan Harper. Appreciate you talking to us.
Thank you, sir.
Well, next up, we're going to go ahead and grab Logan York, and Josh Giambrone stands by with him.
Logan York, you got Landon and Josh in the booth. You copy?
Yeah, I got you, Josh.
You know, the main thing I want to know is, how do you feel that the guy that's running the same
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it. Everybody wants to know.
No,
Everybody wants to know. How do you feel?
I'm very upset. That's it. I'm very upset. That just pissed me off. Yeah, it's very simple. Just to, I don't know, man.
He could have went with you, and you could have won.
Yeah, I would have won. Yep, second place again.
Now, are y'all still teammates? That's the question I want to know.
You know the answer. Why are you were on? You were.
Well, everybody else don't know.
You know the answer. Why don't you tell him? Why don't you tell him, Josh?
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say you guys are still not teammates.
Yeah. So basically, guys, hello, PGR. I would like to say, he was poached from my team by MVG.
Okay. But he's still running the paint scheme that you made.
I know. It's all good and well though. It's all good.
Everybody's
he's not
friends
with me
around
anymore.
here. How do you feel about that second place there?
Yeah, it sucks. Wanted to win. Second again. This is second place in this series. Tyler didn't block me enough going when I went to the outside, and I had a good run, and then here comes the Baba League truck behind me and helps him, and I lose the race. It's all good. And Baker could have pushed me too, but he decided to go 3 wide for some odd reason. It's all good though. I mean, I'm not mad.
All right. Well, you got anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors?
Yeah, I want to thank the broadcast for broadcasting. I want to thank the drivers for driving. I want to thank the spectators for spectating. I want to thank everyone for what they do, and that's it.
All right. Well, thank you, Logan. Have a good one.
That is words from Logan York. Quite the interview from Mr. York right there. Always
Everybody
a good
wanted
person
to
to
know.
talk to. Yeah. Josh Giambrone, how about him? Give him a round of applause asking the hard-hitting questions around here. I appreciate that very much. But we are going to move on to tonight's winner, Kyler Wynn, at least for now, unless Giambrone has anything to say about that before we pull him up. Do you have any information on what's going on in there?
I don't have any information. Heard multiple things. It could be on him. It could be on Lee on that last turn, that backstretch wreck there. But as of this moment, he is the winner.
Okay, in that case, we're going to go ahead and pull him up. Kyler Wynn, Landon, and Josh in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yep.
Well, I'm not going to say you got bailed out because that's not what happened, but you did kind of get a lot of help right there from Nathan Harper deciding to go against one of his best friends on the racetrack, Logan York, and he ended up going with you instead and ended up sealing a deal for you to win this race. So walk us through the finish of that one right there.
Yeah, that was interesting. A little bit of controversy there on the backstretch because, of course, went up for the block, placed my car in front of Garrett's, and Garrett looked like he moved up to go around me and got hooked. That's the way I see it, but ultimately it's up to the panel to make a call on that. So I don't, we don't know for sure yet if I won, but as I see it, I don't think I did anything wrong there. Just unfortunate circumstances. Garrett looks like he hesitated to go around me or was being pushed through. I'm not sure. Either way, fun race, enjoyed it. I've been doing a lot of studying in the past few days for exams, so it's nice to get my mind off of things.
Oh, absolutely.
The interesting move from the line of Nathan Harper not going with his teammate or friend.
Yeah, they are not teammates.
So thank you.
They are not teammates.
Oh, okay. Well, friend. Won me the race pretty much.
Yeah, well, you are right. I mean, this race had a little bit of everything. Lots of cautions, lots of wrecking, lots of ARCA braking, lots of crazy racing, and definitely a wild finish completed with Garrett Maines ending up in the catch fit. So you ended up surviving out of everyone here, and congrats to you on that because that was definitely a race of attrition. So go ahead and give out your thanks and your shout-outs.
Yeah, just factory steps. Running solo for now, obviously. It's actually quite enjoyable. So I'm enjoying that.
Oh, absolutely. That is Kyler Wynn, who right now is the winner of tonight's race, and hopefully will stay that way. Congrats again to you. Thank you for talking to us.
Yep, thank you. Thank you for the broadcast.
Yes, sir. Well, that is Kyler Wynn, and I sent Josh Giambrone down to the review room to see what is going on right now. We're going to go ahead and pull him back up into the booth. So Josh Giambrone is back with some news.
Okay, so the final verdict from the panel. The EOL is going to be given to Kyler. So Kyler did not win.
Wow.
So that means that Logan York is going to be your race winner.
Well, Josh Giambrone with the breaking news that Logan York has won tonight's race amidst the controversy involving what happened on the final lap of the race. So congrats to Logan York, I guess. We were just speaking to Kyler Wynn. Unfortunately, he's going to get the penalty, the post-race penalty. And before we go off the air, we're going to go ahead and just take one more quick look at just what happened right there from a top-down view so everyone can see what we're talking about if they are just now joining in. But at the end of the day, yeah, so there was a little bit of contact here going on between Kyler Wynn and Garrett Maines, and the four-person review panel after the race, as per MMS rules, there has to be 4 people not party to anybody involved in it, and no hosts of the race, which would be Kenny McCullough, involved in it. They decided that Kyler Wynn was at fault for this wreck right here that took out Garrett Maines and Matthew T. Lee, and that will mean Logan York will win tonight's race, the second race of the MMS Little Dogs Big Dogs season. So congrats to Logan York, tonight's winner, after a very nice interview, who, you know, we could tell he was not exactly excited with what happened to him, and I'm sure he's still not going to be, but at the end of the day, he wins the race. So congrats to Logan. And before we go off on anything else right here, I know I keep interrupting.
Get him back up here. No, you're good. Let's get him back up.
You know what? Yeah,
let's break
that's
the
a
news
great
to him.
idea. Let's pull him up. Logan York, Landon, and Josh in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Hello.
You are the winner of tonight's race. How do you feel?
Yay! Winner. This is the second. Wait, this is sweet. This is the second race this week I've won because of a DQ.
I mean, it's still a win.
It is a win. A win is a win.
A win is a win.
It's okay, man. I like asterisks.
Yeah. And now, which is good for you because Nathan Harper didn't really screw you over here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't really know what Kyler did wrong. I'm not gonna lie.
The panel says
I don't think he really.
It was a late block. That is from the panel. That is from 4 random drivers, not from RC, not from Kenneth McCullough, from 4 random drivers. Now,
personally, I feel like he shouldn't have gotten in the OL, but I'll take what I can get.
You know, personally, as RC, I don't see it either. But it wasn't my call, so you can't be mad at me.
But
yeah,
you know what the good news is this now locks you and your teammate Scott McLean into the championship for this season.
Get him in here. Get him in here. Get him in here.
Who are we getting in here?
Scott
Let's
McLean.
get Scott McLean. Let's get him into the waiting room. Scott McLean, Landon, Josh, and Logan in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, congratulations. Your teammate has been announced as the winner of tonight's race, and that means you and him are locked into the MMS Little Dog Big Dogs championship race. You don't have anything to worry about from here on out in terms of that. So how do you feel after this one?
Well, it's kind of a mixed bag of emotions here. Got ARCA break there at the end. I was kind of laying low. I was moving myself up the pack, but we got to the championship, so I guess that's really all that matters. So, hell yeah.
Well, there we go. There is Scott McLean. Definitely going to be pleased. I know he's a little kind of probably in shock right now, disappointed with how his personal race went, but now at the end of the day, you are locked into the championship, so congrats on that. And I guess I'm going to have to ask you this question. Go ahead and give your thanks and your shout-outs.
Well, I'd like to thank Daga Pros, John Ward. I'd like to thank Landon Veleke for his awesome broadcasting, MMS for putting it on, Utility Group for the sponsorship, Debbie for giving me quality trucks to drive every day. And I just wish that some more people get some brake sponsors so they could stop for wrecks when they happen.
Well, there you go. Some wise words again from Scott McLean. We appreciate you talking to us. Congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We also appreciate Logan York's presence in here. We're going to go ahead and round this broadcast off. Thanks for joining us once again for your second interview on the night, Logan.
Of course, have a good one, guys.
You too, buddy.
There you go. Logan York, tonight's winner of the race, and him and Scott McLean are locked in. So we appreciate all of you out there tuning in and watching what was a very fun race, what ended up being a fun race to sit up here in the booth and call and announce for y'all at home. I hope all of y'all were entertained with what y'all saw tonight. Maybe not all the cautions, but at least the green flag racing was very exciting at the end of the day. And Logan York wins the race. He is a fan favorite, or a fan hated by the fans, I would say. Of anyone, definitely a Kyle Busch-like figure, but he's polarizing, and that's sometimes what we need. So congrats to Logan York on winning tonight's race, and Nathan Harper, and who else we got? Matthew Baker ends up on the podium. Heath Job and J.R. Miller will round out the cash spots here tonight. So congrats to JR rounding off a good run here tonight with a little bit of money, a little more money in his pocket. So congrats to him, and we appreciate all of you out there for watching. If you have not already, go get signed up for the PGR 500. That starts January 28th. You're running out of time to sign up for it. We're either at or very nearly approaching 200 entries for that event. You know you want to come be a part of it. Go sign up. Thanks again for everybody out there for tuning in tonight. Thanks to Kenny McCullough for the host. We appreciate all of y'all watching, and we hope all of you out there have a very, very good night.